We're live, guys. Oops, how are you? We're here in the podcast studio doing a quick impromptu live. Been a while. We've missed the Q&A sessions. We did some recording this morning. For those of you who have been following on the channel, the Father Fitting content, we just recorded episode 2. I'm doing a podcast after this with Paige Sporanic over and her playing around podcast. So just had a little time to burn. Missed doing these Q&As. Oops, turn myself off. Don't need to hear that. And yeah, wanted to jump on and see if you guys had any questions at all. So guys, let us know. Jump on in there. Want to hear what you guys have been up to. Obviously, crazy day in the Canadian golf world yesterday. With the win for Nick Taylor. Unbelievable scenes. Really cool to see in the 18th green, right, as the sort of drama unfolded. Mike Weir, Adam Hadwin. If you haven't seen the body tackle already from the security guard, you have to Google Adam Hadwin Canadian Open celebration. Just Google that or type it in social media, and yeah, you guys will just die when you see that. So very, very cool stuff. It was a tough one because obviously pulling for Nick Taylor, the Canadian element, just seeing that unfold was amazing. But I love Tommy Fleetwood. It was really, really cool to see him with a chance of winning. I thought he would get it done. And it was just a moment of brilliance, holding a 72-foot putt on the 18th green, fourth playoff hole. Shot link, I think recorded it as the longest putt Taylor's ever held in his professional career. Obviously, while being tracked, it's just absolutely incredible for that to be the moment. So very, very cool. All right, I'm going to dive in and grab a few questions. Let's see. Let's see, Chris. Let's see if we can pull up. Jump into Matthew Jacks. Matthew has an iron fitting at our Mississauga location next Tuesday. Feel like it's bad timing with the release of the T series irons at Apex line, but excited anyway. Hoping to get into ZX7 I230 or T100S. I mean, there's never. I want to say there's never a good time, never a bad time to get fitted. I mean, obviously there's new stuff coming out all the time, but models don't change dramatically, series to series or model to model within a year. It's over 3 to 5 years, like we always say, that technology changes and kind of takes those meaningful steps forward. And really until you get to that point, it doesn't really change all that much. So I think you're looking at some really good ones, Matthew. Honestly, the bigger thing for you is that you're being fitted. Whether you miss out on the new T series or whatever it might be, I don't think that's worth holding your sort of choices back for. The one I'll throw into the mix for the irons that you're looking at, and this is with some obviously personal bias. Have a look at the 0317 from PXG. You're looking at some irons basically that I'm looking at the exact same things. Strixon ZX7, I230s, and T100S. All irons that I've played all of them. I was just trying to think there. Of course I played all of them. Played everything. But have a look at the PXGs as well when you're in there, and I think you'll like them as well. Chris is in. Good evening from Melbourne. Good evening, Chris. We just finished doing a podcast with Paul Jenner, the head of Club Champion Australia. He obviously is in that time zone, so I know you're in the late, coming towards midnight, I guess, 11 something probably for you guys out there. So appreciate you joining us, Chris. Luke is asking thoughts on the Sinister Iron Shaft. Don't know yet, Luke. Haven't seen it. I haven't tested it. I have seen it. I haven't tested it. I've hit the driver shaft. Really, really nice, you guys. If you haven't seen already, one of last week's postings, I think it was like late last week, maybe Thursday or Friday, we done our testing of the brand new VA Sinister shaft, Aventus Black equivalent. Really did lower my sort of peak height. It was still good on launch, but it was very, very flat at the apex. and very, very tight in dispersion. So something that actually I ended up putting the driver shaft in the bag for a tournament pretty much straight away, which it takes a little bit of guts to do that, having never played the thing before. I played it in the Ontario amateur qualifier and managed to qualify with that in the bag. So really worked well for me. I really did like it. So something to try. Where are we at? Jeez. There we go. Hearing any details on tech in the new T series irons? Lots of things I'm hearing. Lots of things. We're actually going to be in California this time next. No, not this time next week. Later this week. Testing with it. Yeah, we'll be out there later this week. Excited. Hearing a little bit about some feel changes. I haven't heard about any tech changes yet though. Are you pondering putting Axiom in the bag? No, not pondering that for me. Have I ever been tackled like Adam Hadwin? Yes, absolutely. As a youngster, I think everyone's been tackled like that. At some point in the past. Never on television, I'm pleased to say, but yeah, that was so funny. I could see it all unfolding and happening on the green. But I didn't realize it was Hadwin that get tackled. So when they seen all the memes afterwards, it was absolutely hilarious. Josh is asking, "Hi, not golf related. Are you a blue nose?" Josh, yes, I'm a blue nose, the bluest of blue noses. Love the Rangers. Used to be a season ticket holder at Ibrox. Was for many, many years until I moved away. So, yeah, love the Glasgow Rangers. Does TXG carry lab putters in the line in Toronto, Mississauga? Yes, we do. We carry the 201, the Direct Force 201, 2.1. We have the Mez. The only thing we don't have is Mez Max. But we do have them to try. Actually really impressed with them. They're excellent. BM is struggling with lag putting with the ball jumping. Any tips, or would a graphite shaft help? Do you know, it's a really interesting take that would a graphite shaft help? Absolutely not. A graphite shaft is definitely not going to help the ball jumping up in the air. You're adding too much dynamic loft. Sure, a steel shaft maybe deflects a little bit more than a graphite shaft, but ultimately you've got to get the handle leaning forward a little bit more. So to the golden rules when it comes to putting that we see on Quintic, the shaft angle has to be approximately 2 degrees forward. It has to be, but if you're going to roll it optimally, we're looking for the shaft angle to be 2 degrees forward and the angle of attack to be 2 degrees up. What that will give us, with about a 2.5, 3 degree lofted putter, will give us about a degree of loft in 30 to 50 RPMs of forward spin on a 12-foot putt. That's about ideal launch characteristics that we're looking for. More meaningful that you get your sort of impact scenario right via technique than trying to get it through a shaft change, something like that. So, but get yourself on Quintic. I highly recommend it. I think Sam Putt Lab also will tell you shaft lean. So whether you're on one of those systems, you'll get the right information. Peter is saying congrats to Canada. Yep, congrats to Canadian golf. Congratulations to Golf Canada. The company of Golf Canada, the institute. I mean, they have. I remember when I moved here, 2011, and I heard about all the initiatives that Golf Canada was putting in place to try and generate more of a conveyor belt of talent. And it was nice to have your Mike Weirs and Stephen Ames and people like that, but they were kind of a bit more one-off. Look at it now. 4 winners this year on tour. Mackenzie Hughes is one on tour this year. Nick Taylor now. Corey Connors. Who am I missing? Adam Svensson. So 4 Canadian winners this year in the PGA Tour. And we're not even in July. And that's amazing. And obviously the depth of it. You do get, obviously, success comes in bunches, I think, when it comes to these things. So success drives success. So more Canadian golfers seeing scenes like that yesterday, more youngsters who are exposed to those events. you know, I think that only breeds more and more success and more programs that sort of bring young Canadians into the game, which is really, really cool to see. Okay, let me get caught up a little bit here. Jason, good morning. Would love to see another lab putter focus. Yeah, it seems people are really into lab putters right now. We can do that for sure. I think maybe now that they have a more expanded lineup, maybe it's time now to do you know, full review of their lineup and talk about some of the tech in it and why sort of being truly torque free, you know, versus something with toe hang or sensor shafted or, you know, whatever it might be, they are truly unique. So yeah, it would be a good time to do another one. Let's see. Mr. B Hardy really get along good with the Tour AD UB and Ventus TR Red, but I find TR Red easier to turn over. Does this make sense? Thanks and cheers. Yeah, it does. One of the things I've talked a lot about, and actually in the VA Sinister video, and I know you guys, shaft videos aren't always your favorite, and you know, we see that it's kind of, you know, people aren't as interested in shaft as they are in club head reviews. But when you see us do these shaft reviews, I think that the findings give you guys some really interesting learnings of what shafts do dynamically. So in this case, Tour AD UB has a much stiffer tip profile than the TR Ventus Red. So I tend to see dispersion move more laterally and less vertically. So we talk of being tip soft. I don't think of that as something that's going to, you know, hit the ball necessarily higher. I think if it's something that's actually going to kick a little bit more in lead deflection, a shaft that works more in lead deflection is going to encourage more of a faster close rate or more of a closed face. So yeah, that's why I think you're hitting TR Red a little bit more left than UB. I think that's definitely something we see. If somebody has a left bias to their shot shape, we would want to stiffen the tip section. We would want to do a few different things, but you know, that would definitely be one of them. Let me get caught up a little bit here. Let's go all the way down. Sorry, guys, if I've missed any of your questions, I will definitely pick it back up. Craig is asking, Ian, what do you like about your PXG irons more than your Mura TC201s? That's a great question. I would say one of the things I like a little more about the PXG is they are a slightly easier build for me. The Mura headweights are extremely heavy, and I found that it maybe took the swing weight up a little bit into a kind of higher range. And now I'm being pretty picky about that because we're talking about D4.5, D5 on the heavy end versus what I played out, which is kind of D3 to D3.5. If we were to put that, so say that's the club, or do this way, say that's the club head, when we drop 4 grams, 3 to 4 grams on that club head, that's the difference between what I'm talking. So when you've got an overall golf club that has a 120 gram shaft, a 50 gram grip, 170, and then you've got a 265 gram head, so you're dealing in and around 435 grams, 3 or 4 grams into the head. Obviously, it's some really, really tiny change. But, you know, when you're swinging it, the weight magnifies and it does make a difference. So I would say that's one of the things. The other part of it is Mura obviously feel really soft, but these PXGs feel solid. There's a difference between something feeling soft and something feeling solid. And when I strike those PXGs well, they feel super, super solid. I think as well, it's just a head profile, the preference that I have. I really like the kind of the toe to heel profile and the height profile of it. Okay. Brian has a tendency to cast his club. Let's see if I can pull this up actually. Pin message. You do that? No. Let's see. 1 second. I'm trying to do this here. Unpin. Okay. Sorry, guys. Just trying to pull that across there. Okay, Brian, sorry. I have a tendency to cast the club And I know this is a swing fix I need to work on, but are there any shaft swing weight options to promote a leading wrist? Brian, generally speaking, more weight is good for guys, people like you and I. Casters tend to anything that's light. We need to be able to feel that golf club, feel it fall. So as we swing it up, we need to feel it fall so that we can create a little bit more of that separation and where the club is kind of going back as the body's starting down. That's what creates lag. Basically, opposing forces is what creates lag. So we're swinging everything back, and then the club head continues to go back as the body turns forward, and then that creates that sort of kinematic chain of energy that creates basically a build-up in lag. So a little bit more weight is generally better. Paul is asking, could you give us your thoughts on the price tag of golf hardware recently? Do you think it's greed or is it R&D cost? Paul, I mean, everything's gone up, hasn't it? I mean, our run to the grocery store has went up. Our house prices have went up. It's just, we're looking at a point now where inflation, is significant. I think everybody's recovering from obviously the COVID nightmare that was the last few years. So, the knock-on effects of businesses having, tanked and lost in some cases, hundreds of millions and billions, at times. I think we're definitely all seeing a little bit of that. Would I like to see at some point a leveling out of prices? I would. I really, really would, Paul. But keep in mind though, you don't always have to buy, and this is coming from somebody who obviously runs a club fitting operation. But when I see people complain about price, no one's putting a gun to your head and saying you have to buy the latest Paradigm Triple Diamond or the latest G430 LST. There's phenomenal product out there if you still want to pay $500 for a driver, not in the Canadian market, $840 for a Ping G430. There's still phenomenal product out there. So I think some people just always want the latest and greatest. Look at what Apple charge for their iPhone every September. They charge through the roof for it. And as they expand, memory capacity and things like that, it goes up and up and up. It's going to be $2,000 shortly for an iPhone, and Apple will never apologize for it. But it doesn't mean you need to buy the latest and greatest all the time. Hello from Thailand, looking sharp as always. Thank you so much. Let's see. Jose, is there any update if Callaway will release a new Apex Pro line? There will be a new Apex line, Jose. I can't say too much about what and when. Think late summer. There's going to be some new Mizuno irons. There's going to be some new, obviously, Titleist irons, and there's going to be some new Callaway irons. There's going to be a couple of other smaller releases. Not going to be a big, big kind of mid-season release this year. I think there's most of the wood companies have done their business. I don't think there's anything that I can think of that's significant. I mean, obviously, Ping are going to extend the G430 line with the LST 3-wood. There's obviously news about that online, but other than that, I think it's going to be some new TaylorMade wedges. MG4, I believe, is going to be coming this summer, and a few other things, but not an awful lot. Ross is hitting a G430 LST with Villain 65X. What other shafts are similar? That are similar, just a bit lighter. I don't know, Ross, if you caught any of my testing of the new Mitsubishi Tensei Pro 1K Blue. I would say that's one to try, especially if you're playing 65X. But I would say that would be one to try. Tensei 1K Blue in the 50X, 55 grams X Flex. Really, really like that one. Lively, great on ball speed, and still pretty stable. TBD is asking, what is the best 3-wood over the last 3 years, in my opinion? 2000s. I mean, TaylorMade for me, TaylorMade have dominated the fairway wood market. Sim 2, which I currently play, and Stealth, and obviously now Stealth 2, Titanium, I think have been the dominant fairway woods in the space. If you were to go and if you could go and pick up a fairway wood right now, looking at the cost of them, you could probably pick up an original Sim for 200, 250 bucks. I don't think you could ever spend better money in a 3 wood than that. So, yeah, that's definitely what I would recommend going out there. Okay. Scott is asking, anything close to old school Kylie? I still have an 80X in the fairway wood and I love it. What's close to Kylie 80X? I mean, I think Ventus TR Red, if you tip it a little bit, will get pretty close. Kylie being pretty stable handle, pretty stable tip, and a little softer in the middle. I think TR Red, obviously you can follow some other blue board profiles. Yeah, again, Tensei 1K Blue we just talked about. But I would say TR Red would be a really nice one for you to try. Freddie's asking, I'm a fan of Iomic sticky grips. Are they durable? I am a fan of the material. The ionomer rubber lasts a long, long time. Doesn't go kind of hard and slick the way you see some kind of, call it, cheaper materials going. So I definitely do like those. I've tried them and they've never lasted for me. They've never been something I've kind of kept in the bag. No sort of, no opinion against them for whatever reason, but it's just not something I've ever got on with. Let's see. Let's do 5 more minutes. Dave Fogel, how did you miss this? Because it was impromptu, my man. It was not scheduled. I had about 45 minutes to kill between podcasting. I was podcasting first thing this morning with Nick in Chicago, Jason in Basingstoke, and Paul in Sydney. We were doing our Father's a Fitting podcast, episode 2. So I just wanted to jump on. It's been a while since connecting with you guys. Young Michael Martusevich is on his way. He better have an English breakfast tea coming for me. And then we're doing Paige Sporadic's podcast in about 13 minutes. So it should be good fun. Mike is saying, keep up the great work, my man. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate all the support, guys, as always. Apologies for sure. The output of content has been a little bit lighter recently. We're kind of getting some things figured out in the background. It'll be well worth the wait for you guys. I definitely can promise you that. Some cool things in the works, but bear with us while we make our transition and kind of get our production and editing sort of team put together and our on-camera team as well. So some cool things coming and some pretty big news coming for you guys in the next little bit. So stay tuned for that. Kyle is saying, Frazman, good to see you. Good to see you, Kyle. Got to see your review on the Pro Tour Concept Series irons. Pushed me to get them and I'm over the moon. Appreciate that, Kyle. Yeah, Proto Concept are sneaky underdogs. I think they are definitely some of the most underrated irons out there. I don't think most people even know about Proto Concept. I think people probably just confuse Proto Concept with Prototype and think that it's a model that is yet to have a name, but they are really, really solid. You guys know how picky I am with head shapes when it comes to irons. I think they're some of the nicest shaped irons out there. I could use a blended set of those. Our great friend and probably our longest time client, Rick Kennedy, who comes to us every year with the PGA show. Rick has been using Proto Concept irons for about, I want to say maybe 18 months. And he's the pickiest of picky. I mean, he is Muras, he is PXGs, everything when it's new, and he's currently in Proto Concept and absolutely loves them. So Yeah, really are worth a try for those of you who haven't tried them. Craig is asking, have I rolled the new Mura putters? Yes. Yes, definitely. They're great feeling putters. They're great looking putters. I love the finish of them. We might just need to do a little sneaky review in the channel in the next couple of weeks. P Buck, are you setting up shop in Vancouver? Yes. West Coast TXG is coming. Obviously, we're in Calgary right now. We are days away from announcing the opening of the Vancouver store. Absolutely cannot wait to get out west. Huge market for us out there. Cannot wait to get out there and offer you guys, our services and get the full demo matrix out there. More details, specifics to come in the next few days. But Vancouver TXG is coming, if I say soon. Soon being less than 2 months. Very, very soon. Patrick saying, wish we would come to Montreal. I know. I would love to be in Montreal, Patrick. I think you'll see us close to Montreal. If I was looking in my kind of, call it, TXG club champion crystal ball, I would say Ottawa is probably on the horizon in 2024. I would say that's going to be fairly close, and certainly closer than the 5-hour trek that the sort of Montreal golfers have to make down to see us right now. So coming very, very soon. KW, can you bend Z forge pitching wedge 3 degrees weak? Absolutely. 3 flat, 3 weak, 3 up, 3 strong in any direction. 3 degrees is easy for a club that is that soft. Love the channel. Best wishes. Have to get back to work. Keep up the great content. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, guys. Okay, couple more, and then we'll dive out here. Freddie's saying, saw the Drew Cooper I-Series versus Project XLS shaft test. Big difference in height, but is it simply due to different profile, or are the L-Series way stiffer than the Project X? No, they definitely are not, Freddie. That was one of the most interesting tests I've ever seen, is when you see someone like Drew delivering such different dynamic loft numbers. And you guys have heard me talk about spin loft, the difference between angle of attack and delivered loft. For Drew, the reason he spun it so much lower is just the fact that he has a much shallower angle of attack when it comes to the graphite iron shaft without the dynamic loft being that different. So he spun them in a totally different window, which is awesome. So yeah, you've just got to see what works for you. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to love you and leave you. We have more filming happening this week. Mikey and I are heading out to Carlsbad on Wednesday. We're going to be out there testing the new Titleist irons. We'll be out there sort of Wednesday, Thursday, and then home Friday. Obviously, not too much that we can say in them yet. Michael, come say hi. I'm on a YouTube live. Are you? Yeah. Yeah, not much we can say on it yet. Coming very, very soon. They're raining out there a little bit. It's raining. It's monsoon season. Good for the golf course. Good for the golf course. Okay, guys, thanks so much. We will see you next week. Mikey boy, we'll jump into a little live from the West Coast. Perfect. The best coast. Okay, guys, stay tuned. We'll see you again. Come on, sir.